All right, let's dive into a really big idea today. We're going to explore a powerful concept called being in Christ and figure out how it might just be the key to finding some real unity in a world that feels more divided than ever. Let's get into it.
You know that feeling, right? You're with friends, good friends, and you can just feel that tension in the air. You know you have to actively avoid certain topics, politics, big ideologies, because like this quote says, the moment you go there, you might not walk away as friends. It's a painful reality, and it really sets the stage for our big question today.
So what's going on here? Why is it so incredibly hard to find genuine unity? Not just out in the world, but even with people we care about. This is the question we're really going to try and tackle. And the answer our source material offers is, well, it's pretty radical and honestly pretty profound. The whole thing starts with this powerful metaphor. The idea is that salvation isn't just about changing what you believe. It's a complete shift in your entire reality, what the source material calls an eternal relocation. So what does being in Christ actually mean? It's not just some vague spiritual feeling. No, it's something God does. He literally moves a person from one place, the dominion of darkness, into a totally new one, the kingdom of his Son. Think about it like a permanent spiritual change of address. You don't live there anymore. And this table here, it just lays it all out. The before and after. It's a stark difference, right? Outside of Christ, you're an enemy of God, living in a realm of darkness. But in Christ, you become a child of God, living in the kingdom of light. Your whole identity shifts from the old self to a new creation. It's a total 180, from condemnation to complete forgiveness. Okay, so you've had this eternal relocation. Now what? What does life actually look like on the other side? Well, there's a blueprint for it, a path that's built on 5 really foundational ideas. So the path starts with logos, the word. That's the foundation, the solid truth of Christ. From there, you walk the hodos, which means the way, following Jesus' path. Now, the mindset you need for this whole journey, that's kenosis. Basically, emptying yourself of all that pride and obsession with status. The main action, the thing you do, it's agape, that unconditional, sacrificial kind of love. And you don't do it alone. It's all lived out in koinonia, a real, deep, shared life with other people. You see how each one builds on the one before it? And you know, when people actually start living this way, something amazing happens. It's not just about individual change anymore. The natural result is a brand new kind of community, one that looks completely different from the divided world we started with. The Greek word for this community is ekklesia, which we usually translate as church. But here's the kicker, the really important part. It doesn't mean a building. It literally means the called out ones. It's about a people that God has called out of all the world's divisions to belong to Him and in turn to each other. And this is where it all comes together. Just look at this comparison. On the left, you've got how the world typically forms groups, around things that naturally create insiders and outsiders, like politics, status, or race. But then, you look at the ekklesia. Its entire foundation is one thing and one thing only, a shared identity in Christ. That verse from Galatians says it all. In this community, all those other labels just fall away. Jew, Gentile, slave, free, none of it matters. This is the radical solution to all that division we talked about at the beginning. Now look, that all sounds great, right? That's the ideal, but we all know the real world is messy. The real challenge is actually putting all of this into practice in our everyday lives. And here are the things that they tear it all down. You've got partisanship, which is just a fancy word for forming little cliques based on selfish ambition. Then there's gossip, which is a trust killer, discrimination, looking down on people because of how the world measures them. And of course, pride. That little voice that tells you that your group, your views are just better than everyone else's. These are the things that sabotage everything. And that brings us to some really tough, really personal questions. First up, let's be honest with ourselves. Do I need to feel superior to other people just to feel happy? And let's take that even deeper. Does my own sense of who I am, my own comfort and well-being, does it actually depend on looking down on somebody else, on putting them in a box so I can feel like I'm in a better one? So here's where we land. What if? Just what if we really did this? What if we saw every single person as equal and truly lived out this eternal relocation day in and day out? Imagine what could change if that identity, our identity in Christ, was the most important thing about us, more real than any other label. It's a huge challenge for sure, but it just might hold the promise of real unity in a world that's so incredibly broken.